let's deep dive to the problem discovery.
Yeah. So first, a short introduction about problem discovery. As you're all familiar, in this phase you want to understand the context of the organization and the problem, the industry and the business model. What gaps there's in the business model and what kind of inefficiencies. So this is from the perspective of circular economy now, understanding the problem. So you want to understand the context, industry, current business model, gaps, inefficiencies and potentials with the circular approach. And here are some activities here listed next. So with these activities you can use in this problem discovery phase, such as material flow analysis, in which you try to check or see how the materials you use in your business, how they flow and move through your organization, and also to interview stakeholders, most importantly perhaps the customers, but also other stakeholders, to understand how you sort of currently maybe waste value that's in the materials, and where inefficiencies and so forth. But also inside the organization you should talk to different people to understand where might there be inefficiencies in what you do. And through this approach, you can use other activities I'm going to show you next. But what you try to achieve is sort of a comprehensive understanding of the current state. And then you have other tools and methods for this problem discovery phase. We're not going to be going through all of them now, because there's just too many things you could do and too many things to study. But for further study you can use these tools. The material flow analysis is already above, but the stakeholder interviews also above, but then life cycle assessments and value stream mapping are also some tools you can use to try to understand better the current problem there. And we recommend studying them at some point if you want to get deeper into this.
And what I can very warmly recommend is about the different kind of stakeholder interviews all the time, because quite often when we ask about the customers that if they're thinking that what value they should provide or what different changes they are willing to start with, quite often they think that they really don't know what the different stakeholders or customers are actually without, or how do they behave, or something like that. And if we ask from their side that have you ever asked about your customer or any other stakeholder, the answer is pretty obvious. It's quite often it's no, we never ask, or we send an email and get some like are they satisfied about something or something like that, but it's not the real understanding and about what they are without, or what will be the value for them.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that is something we are missing all the time.
That is true. Yeah, we have several cases where for example some of our customers, some organizations we've talked to, they claim they've done some kind of a stakeholder analysis or something like materiality analysis or something, but they never actually talk to their stakeholders other than inside the management in their organization.
Okay. Quite often I say that if you do even 3 customer interviews or something, you get a lot of information. You don't need to do 100 or something, just a few. True. All right.
Shall we move forward? So now, to understand the context of the textile industry, we have to look into the key issues that are specific to textile industry, but yeah, these are also other industries face these similar issues. So first is resource depletion, which is due to the use of materials which the resources we need in textile industry that consume a lot of water and energy, for example, and so they're depleting our ecosystem and also contributing to climate change. Also, then we have chemical pollution. You know, for example, how we put colors into the clothing. Then those might be very hazardous for also for nature and human health. And then we have a lot of waste created by fast fashion model, but also the fact that we actually don't recycle very well, like 1%. If you remember from our previous training, it was 1% of the clothing is recycled into new clothing. So that's not.
Life cycle for some products is very low and very short.
Yeah, and then also you've heard of like these microplastics. They spread from the clothing throughout our environment and can be very threatening to aquatic life, for example, but also for human health. We don't really understand yet the consequences of the microplastics. So what are the consequences? How the world is trying to adopt to this is, for example, more regulations, like in EU. You will be having more regulations affecting the way you should produce your products and what kind of materials there should be, and also what kind, how long they should be last, and if they should be repairable or not. This will be this is an undergoing process at the moment, this upcoming regulation. Then also people are, choosing more environmentally friendly products, and they want to understand the company's effects on the environment and how's their supply chains. So where does the products come from? Where are they made in, and so forth. And then also brands. Some brands have gained a lot of like negative media attention due to their unsustainable practices, and those on the other hand who have been able to apply sustainable practices, then they get the positive media attention. And what kind of responses we've then the organizations are now doing for this, how they're answering these like consequences is basically moving for more sustainable sourcing, trying to apply circular economy models, making their processes, clothing production processes, more eco-friendly, and then trying to disclose more information about their supply chain. And through these actions, it's quite obvious that the future for the textile industries favors those who are able to do their business more sustainably, and also help customers understand their effects on the environment.
And the last one also means that, are you relevant in the market, let's say after 10 years or something? So are you able to do things in a right way?
Yes. And next we're gonna go for our, oh no, sorry. First we have a little discussion about the vision. Don't let this disturb you. This says the business model canvas, which is what we're going to use later, another version of it, but we're going to discuss about the vision that your company should have based on the changing environment. So the landscape of your organization is changing because of the sustainability issues, and you need to now find a new vision for your company. What is your company's place? What does it want to achieve in this new changing landscape? And we're going to discuss the key questions and why it's important to consider these. Please, Ville, you may.
And you can see in here that there's again about where are you going to be in the next 10 years. So it will be the question like all the time, how you will position in your market and so on. So how does it differentiate from your competitors and so on?
Ma olen sellel
circular
seminaril, aga ma saan
sama.
Nele, sul on mikrofon sees.
Important is also is that
Nele.
I muted. Yeah.
Yeah. What is important is the vision tangible and measurable. And I think I'd like to underline this because all the times the companies are making different kind of targets and visions, which are sounds really nice, but it's very hard to understand that are we actually achieving it or not, because there are something very very dreamy, so can be very like superlative that we are the best and the customers are satisfied and it's very sustainable and so on, but we never actually define what does it mean with numbers or any other metrics. So that's why it's really understand, and it might be very frustrating for people also try to achieve something which is not achievable because it's so unclear.
Yeah, that's very true. And so it's important to consider these questions because you want to know where will you be going to, what's the sort of what's the situation, so to speak, you want to achieve. And these are like this is the tool. We're not going to answer these questions now, but you can use this later. So working with organizations, going through these questions, what is the most important thing to your business in the circular economy and so forth. So answering these questions helps to clarify their vision for their organization. And like Ville said, this is actually the question, is your vision tangible and measurable? The task or the assignment would be to make the vision tangible and measurable, right? So you want to make sure it is and want to work with that.
If you want to present something with numbers, you really need to think and describe it. It's not like good or better or something. With numbers, you have to think that what would be what the good looks like and so on. So and then people can discuss in turn inside the organization as well, because then you have something you can actually think that is this a low or high target for us? Is it achievable or not?
Yeah, and I think Päivi had her hand raised.
Yes, I have one short question. Is it so that the vision should really include figures? Because I thought that it's something else. It's like a dream, a concrete dream, but without any figures. Because figures are more related to the strategy and the next steps, but not in the vision definition. But correct me if I'm wrong.
Of course, it depends what kind of the numbers and you want to add in here. I think idea is that do we have a common idea what is that, like a war park? So are we talking about the same thing at all? So if we are talking about the vision and we are talking about, all right, this will be durable and sustainable, does it mean that everything is in the process are like that? Or are we making like 10 million of revenue with this? Or are we happy with 100,000? or are we happy that we are getting better, or are we transforming everything? So maybe that is something which is important in the vision level. And then if we are making a strategy and a yearly targets, then we can like start talking about the more specific numbers.
Yeah, that's right.
And so that it can be measurable also in other way, in many ways, not only in numbers.
Yeah, that's
but
right.
also in many ways. Like some product may feel like something. Okay, we want to make this product also. Our vision is to make this product feel also durable. That what may one kind of a vision. Okay, it's very specific thing or something, or we want people to be talking this about our company. That's our vision, that we are our brand is like this, so that people talk about us like this. So it can be also measurable in a qualitative sense also.
Or are we able to use some material, for example, if it's a new one and we are not able to do so in the past. But now it's time to jump a different next topic, which is value chain.
Yeah, so first a little introduction to value chain. Value chains, which are basically all the like series of activities that take place in order for the product to be created, to be produced, to be delivered to the customer, and for the customer to use it. So everything along the life cycle of a product, all the activities happening to basically create the product and add value at each stage. So if we consider, for example, that first we take the material, or first we design the product, for example, then we look for the materials, so sourcing, and then we manufacture the piece of clothing, and then we ship it, then we market and sell it, and then it is used, and then what happens after the use. During all of these stages, the activities that are done should be increasing the value of the solution of the product. So thus comes the word value chain. So chain of activities that create the value with the product, for the product. So this is the what we mean. It's has several components, and we should understand how efficient the value chain is. Now, specifically, we are going to talk about the efficiencies and inefficiencies, trying to locate them when it comes to circular economy. And then we, with value chain management comes the integration, which means that we should be able to really understand and be able to analyze the value chain and work with the different actors along the value chain. And we are going to now look more deeply into this. But yeah, they are very industry and company specific, sometimes even product specific. Actually, this for sure, these value chains, because different products use, for example, different design, different materials, and so forth. But do you want to add something, Ville, or shall I move forward to the?
I think we shall move to the inefficiencies.
So here's an example value chain, and inefficiencies that can be seen in today's linear value chain, which we discussed in our previous training, which is, for example, that during product design we design them with unsustainable materials, for example, to be created with unsustainable materials. Also, they might be, in the case of our organization now, the case company, they could be designed, they might not be designed to last as long as their customers want them to last. And then sourcing, also we get unsustainable materials, for example, and so they are not perhaps renewable, so they are virgin materials, and they are not, perhaps the quality of the materials is not very good, for example, so that they would be durable. Then we might have underutilized capacities, which is another inefficiency, which means that basically if we have, for example, our own production, manufacturing of the product, the machines and the equipment there in our facility, they might be in use only for part-time of the day, some certain amount of hours, and the other hours they might be idle, so not used, these machines.
Or they are working in a way that they have to use too much, let's say, energy or some other resources. So they might switch the task all the time or something like that.
Yeah, that's very good point. And also the product itself might have underutilized capacity. If you think when your clothing is just waiting in your wardrobe, waiting to be used in your wardrobe, the capacity in the product is underutilized at that moment. And the more products you have, the more clothing you have, actually the more underutilized capacity you have in your wardrobe. That's one thing. Then logistics also might be that it's not optimized. So, for example, it's very long distances, and also the trucks are driving with less than optimum capacity, so they're not full when you drive the trucks. Just an example. And then, for example, this is the third point, the premature product lives. It regards to the case company very much that the customers would like their garments to last for longer, because they really fall in love with their clothing and don't want to buy new stuff. So if they could be living their life cycle of the product could be longer, then that's premature than if they wear down too fast. And then what happens at the end of life? So are the products turned into waste? For example, they are landfilled, or what's done to them? So are we able to, because there's the value that is put into the products throughout the value chain, there it's embedded, it's in the product, it has value. Are we able to capture the value, or are we going to waste the value? And when the clothing fills the landfills, they're wasted. And this we want to also solve this problem. And then throughout the whole value chain, we have unexploited customer engagements, which means that understanding our customers better allows us to focus selling on the functionality of the product rather than the selling just the product and focusing on the product, not what the function of the product is. For example, many people rent, for example, a wedding dress or some other for some specific occasion. They don't necessarily buy the dress, which can be expensive and used only once. So then they rent the dress, for example, because they need the functionality of having something on them, having some clothing on them for this ceremony, for this very special event. And this inefficiency affects the whole value chain. So you need to, in order to sell functionality of the product and engage the customers better, you should be able to take into account the customer needs, and you should understand the customer so well that you can start from product design and think about the needs, and with sourcing you think about the needs, and in every step you keep your customer in focus. Also the environment.
Now I think it's time to jump to the group assignment.
Yes. Then you have some, this is for your own reference, you can check later or during the assignment. Here's just some examples, but now the assignment is as follows. So you have a tool which you try to assess now the inefficiencies and opportunities your organization might have. So first you're going to put here, let's say a post-it, a post-it here if you think this unsustainable materials inefficiency considers your organization or might consider your organization, and then you can then you will write down how like describe the inefficiency here and how it might affect the customer and the business. So what's the inefficiency, how it affects the customer, how it affects the business?
You have 3 minutes for discussion, 4 minutes to write down the things, and then we will close the group session, and then we discuss 3 minutes about the results. So we will pick up the one team to explain the efficiencies they noticed.
Yes, so now we'll go into groups.
I'd like to add that at this point it's important to concentrate on what is actually a problem. So what kind of inefficiencies you might find out, and what the inefficiency might affect. So how much is cost and what kind of problems it's gonna be as the end result. So you can find the solutions as well, but it's not the idea at this point to start solving the problem, but try to understand that, okay, what kind of the problems there might be.
Yeah. So quick thought about value through customer centricity, which is basically what the whole design thinking and the double diamond process is about. We want customer centricity and create value through that. So basically, okay, here for you can study this later. We don't have the time to go through this in very much detail, but in many companies it means turning their company sort of like inside out, which is, from example, if you think about the interaction with inside the company, you usually have silos, so the departments in the company are not talking to each other very well. They have sort of their own things going on. You're creating one a single company where information is better, for example, information and interaction flows better, and then how you bring the customer centricity in your organization is basically that the sales team needs to be very much involved with the customers to gain information from there and be able to share that information with the rest of the organization as well. But this is food for thought, that it needs another kind of organization that we traditionally have. And so for further study, we don't have the time now to go through this in more detail, but this is something I recommend studying.
Yes, and now it's time to have a 5-minute break at this point, and then we will jump to a next couple of different phases, and then we will have a bit longer break. But at this point, let's have a 5-minute break, and I will make the countdown in Miro board so you can see it from here. So it's 5 minutes, and I really hope that everyone will be back after 5 minutes, and we will jump to the next phase. Which will be the problem definition.
Yes. Hold on. Now it's not, the zooming in and out is not working at the moment with here.
For me, it works.
Now it works. Yeah, for me it was not working. So problem definition.
Yes.
First, again, a little definition about the problem definition. So we're here trying to sort of actually define, not yet to identify the opportunities. That's a bit misleading, but synthesize the findings from the previous phase, analyze them, analyze and synthesize the findings from the previous phase to then find the challenges and opportunities where a circular approach could be beneficial. And what kind of activities here you could use is one is SWOT analysis, which could be tailored for circularity per se, and then life cycle assessment is basically where you assess the environmental impacts of the product or the business, or usually on a product level throughout the whole life cycle, from design till the end of life, what kind of environmental impacts it does have. And also you here try to set the criteria for how you succeed, like what Ville also talked about. How does it look when things go well? Okay. And so you have what the outcome should be is a clearly articulated. So you have the challenges and the vision clearly articulated here.
So we will completely understand and what is the problem actually we are trying to start solving.
Yes.
And
very good.
Then there are like some tools and methods for problem definition.
Yeah. So we have, so you could use different kinds of workshops for this to frame the problem. You could try to visualize with journey mapping, visualize the whole life cycle of the product, and then you can, systems thinking is a tool, is a deep topic, but which is very good to apply here to gain better understanding, because the issue is complex and we are interacting within a larger ecosystem. So systems thinking is a very good tool. And then also this kind of root cause analysis, answering all the time why, if you were trying to find a problem, then asking why we have this problem and going backwards to the root cause. These are some very, very good tools you could also use. But now the assignment, what we have is we are to draw our value chain current and map the inefficiencies there. And think about which ones are the most important inefficiencies in terms of meeting our customers' needs and improving our business. So here you have an example on the side, so which we created. So you can use this as an example. So you're trying to create something similar to this. Okay, this is to help you with the assignment now. So this is the value chain, and here I've written down some inefficiencies. So we will divide you into groups now.
So don't try to solve the problems, don't try to find the inefficiencies related with each phase. You have 3 minutes for discussion, 4 minutes for working in a team, so 7 minutes, and then we will discuss shortly. And now you can.
Yes, I will open the rooms again.
Yes.
Good. Next, we're gonna go.
We are gonna jump the solution part now.
Yes.
So solution discovery.
So we have defined the problem and now discovering the solution. And again, basically, the purpose is to first, you can use brainstorming to design potential solutions for circular business models and different concepts. And here's some activities you can use during this phase. Firstly, is like ideation. Then you can use the business model canvas adapted for circularity, which we are going to use. It's not specifically adapted for circularity because there's still not one comprehensive one, but we have something that's probably even more comprehensive than just something applied for circularity. And then we have prototyping that can be used at this point to create something, small scale versions of potential models or solutions. And what we want as an outcome is different concepts or like ideas of the concepts that could then be tested and validated. So that's the basic thing we are going to do in this stage. And then also here are some other like all other tools you can use for in this stage, ranging from you can use these kind of different workshops to create the ideas. Like I said, brainstorming can be used as also during a workshop. Also, you can study the circular design principles and try to adopt them here, and then doing quick prototyping and rapid iteration, like where you create these conceptual representations to then test, refine, and improve them. And then you could also try to use partners and form partnerships with other organizations, key players who could help you in creating these circular business models.
And let's jump to the circular business models.
Yes, let's jump. Yep. Ville, go ahead.
Yeah, so you can hear quite often there are like 5 types of the model. And here you can see the sharing platforms, product as a service, product lifecycle extension, circular inputs, and at the end, resource recovery. And in center of this figure, there is a value chain. So you can see there's a sourcing and design, manufacturing, logistics, and so on. So and these are like pointed to with a certain part of the value chain as well. Most of these things require that you have to have a data to get the understanding about how you share some resources, how to productize things, and get more information about the life cycle and so on. So how to repair or how to design things in a way that the life cycle will be long enough. So if we go on to the next slide, there are benefits of circular economy business models. And I'm not completely saying that this is true. This is based on some kind of the resources which will represent some models in revenue point of view or how profitable it can be are quite different. So like if you're having a circular inputs, this says that maybe there is no revenue impact at all. It is something we can discuss, but which is pretty clear that it's going to be quite low if we compare it as a product as a service model, for example. So some of the models you can save the resources and costs, and some of the models you can make a new business and get more new revenue streams, for example. And there's a list of business benefits in here as well. So there are several. If you jump to the next one, it describes about the sub-models under each these business models. So they are like models about, let's say, if we take about the product use extension, they are like repair at maintenance, upgrade the product itself, resell it, or remanufacture it. So you can understand, okay, it can be like very different things if you upgrade the product or if you sell it to someone else. So and all these submodels is related with as a product life extension. And then there are some description. Well, we have a next group assignment, which is related with the submodels, how they turn value in a circular value chains. So this describes that the value chain, and then there are these submodels. So how to return, upgrade, resell, remanufacture, and so on about during the value chain. So it will produce the value. And assignment is create your circular value chain utilizing the circular submodels as shown in the example above. So which are the most important ones to apply first? So you don't need to add everything, just add the most obvious and most important ones, because we don't have that much time to describe the whole thing. And now you can use your previous work. You can copy those materials in here if you want, because it should be close enough. But try to concentrate on the submodels at this point. And we have about 8 minutes for each group.
Yeah, and the submodels, yeah, you can see there here in the example they're written down here: repair and maintain, upgrade, and resell. And these arrows point, they mean what parts of the value chain are affected by that submodel. So, for example, here end of life, when you recycle and upcycle, you go back to sourcing. And here when the product use space, the repair and maintain, so that the product stays within this part of the value chain, repair, so product use, okay? But if you resell it to someone else, for example, you use some, I don't know, second-hand platform or some place, you sell an old product, first there's marketing and sales, because you're marketing and selling the product. So that's why the arrow takes to the marketing and sales part of it.
You can use the arrows, but if it feels too difficult, you can just write it down that this will go in that point.
Yes.
Or you can put the notes for both places as well. And as we say, that it's not important to get the right answers, but having this conversation and thinking that, okay, what does it really mean when we do use these submodels to create a value during the value chain? Any questions at this point? Not yet. We will jump your room to help you to get in the beginning. So let's start 8 minutes
and next, what we have is actually there's just some tools for your interests, which would be very good to link to this this stage of the solution discovery. So first you would want to define the business models here and evaluate their potential. And here are some points that can help you, like you could evaluate the revenue they might be generating, or if they save some costs for you, if they enhance your brand, and so forth. And then okay, the customers should be very clear here as well. Should be from the start. We started with the problem discovery, so at that stage you should already have a clear clarity about the customer for this, but this Sitra's material is a little bit tricky in this sense that they bring the customer forth at this point mostly. So, but yeah, it's to keep in mind the customer and then to evaluate the readiness of your if you're ready to apply this model and what kind of challenges and how could you overcome them. Here's the next tool is about then how you could group them, like prioritize the opportunities based on how valuable you think the opportunity is. In this case, the business model and the product. So you think if it's low in value or high in value, or if it's easy or hard to implement. So then you can group them your ideas like this here into 4 different categories, and then you have like actions what you should do if they are, for example, very high in value but they are also very hard to implement. Then you should investigate this opportunity further if it's has some strategic significance. If it's very low in value and hard to implement, it's good to forget, and so forth. So this is a good tool to help you prioritize and what to do with the different ideas you have come up with. So, but this we don't actually have time to consider now, but this is a simple but yet very useful tool.
Very useful and very important, because otherwise your own feelings and idea might mislead you to decisions which might be very expensive and very inefficient. So or absolutely too hard to implement. So sometimes you need to simplify it and getting this difficulty level a bit easier.
Yeah, and obviously, yeah, the thing to pursue is the one you find high value for and easy to implement. So that's the usually the first thing to pursue, and kind of green light for that idea.
Yes.
Then obviously it would be good to then prepare beforehand and map the challenges with the circular business models you're wanting to implement. So internal challenges, customer related challenges, and then ecosystem related challenges, for example with the suppliers and other actors in the ecosystem. So yeah. That's it.
Quite often this is something that if you point out these things, the people might say that, okay, you feel a bit negative or you are against of something, but I would say this is more like we are prepared for these obstacles, and we will understand that, okay, there will be some, because there's always.
That's true. And yeah, okay. Shall I continue?
No, let's continue with the business model canvas.
Okay, then this perhaps most of you have heard of business model canvas, or is there someone who hasn't heard of the business model canvas at all? If you're not, if you haven't heard,
who is heard?
Okay, raise your hand. Who has heard of the business model canvas? Who's familiar with this? Raise your hand up. Let's do it this way.
Yeah.
I can't actually see who is familiar, but because I'm sharing the screen. But
yeah, that's true. I see 11 hands at the moment plus us, so there are a few. Still, a few people are not very familiar with this.
Okay, good. So then, in short, the business model canvas is about the. It's a holistic approach to understanding business. What are the different parts of the business? Actually what activities and what parts of the business are actually creating costs and what activities and parts of the business are creating the revenues. Where do the revenues come from? This is not a full business model canvas here, but this will do for this short explanation at first. Basically, the idea is that your value proposition also creates costs and revenues. In order to carry out your value proposition, you accrue some costs, and also when you deliver the value, you get some revenues. And to get the revenues, you need customer relationships, customer segments, and you get revenues from different customers segments, different channels to reach your customers, and then you accrue costs through your key activities. So they cost the partnerships you have, they cost the resources you get to produce the products and deliver the value. So they are all about cost. So this is a good way to think about your business. Now, here is a bit more developed business model canvas in which you have also, this is called the sustainable business model canvas. So here the traditional one does not take into account the ecological or social costs that your business might have. For example, if you're treating if you're using like child labor, and what are the effects of using child labor, for example, or if you're using non-renewables, so what's the cost for the environment? And then on the other side, you have the benefits, the beneficial impact your business might have ecologically or socially. And but however, this is not very comprehensive either. This is more this is just one more layer, the eco-social benefits and costs, without fully really helping you to understand the broader context your organization belongs to. So that's why there is
more like related with the linear business models.
Yeah,
just with an extension.
Yeah, exactly. So now with a circular business model, you want to understand the environment your business belongs to. So what are the effects to the environment and the society, economy, and understand your business's role within that broader context your business depends on. And so you can see it's a lot more complex than the previous ones. The questions are harder, but we really cannot do business sustainably if we don't take these into account. So now this, okay. So when we look at this, this is consists of basically 4 parts, which is processes, value, people, and outcomes. That's the whole, we can so basically, the business can be categorized along these 4, can be depicted according to these 4 categories, and that belong to the broader context I talked about earlier. And usually you use this canvas so that you work with few categories at a time, because they affect each other. But now we start with from the center, because it's a bit tricky. And then we are going to now focus more on the environmental aspect, a little bit on the people, and the other like the social aspect of it, but more on the environmental at this time. So I'm gonna use some post-its here, and I'm going to be asking questions, and you can help me solve this this puzzle. So basically, the question about value, the first question is, what kind of value are we co-creating, and with whom, basically? And value co-creation means that in order for our customers, for example, to gain value from their product, they have to actually, it's the product not in itself is not creating the value, but how they interact with the product, and what does it allow them, how does it benefit the product in the interaction. also we need other people, other organizations to co-create this value. So what kind of value are we actually co-creating? Let's consider now that we have the case company which is selling these durable products, trying to be even more durable, trying to be repairable or upgradable and recyclable. What kind of value are we creating for our customers? We're giving points to those who are first ones to reply. So
Sustainability.
yeah, very good. 10 points.
10 points to Estonia.
Yes, 10 points to Estonia. Exactly. So it's like sustainability, like lifestyle for them, also for environment, right? Something else comes to mind. What kind of value can you relate to clothing? What kind of value? Why are we actually wearing clothing?
Protection from the cold.
Yeah.
Maybe it's self-respect or self-esteem, so that you feel being a better person when you use these products which are sustainable.
Very good. Fashion. Yeah.
Better
This is-
world in the future. In a way.
Yeah. So you're basically able to contributing to a better world in the future related to the sustainability. Yeah. Okay, that's quite many already.
Yeah.
So we can move forward to value co-destructions. Is there something actually that we are destroying for some person or the planet while doing this? Are we destroying value by, for example, making it difficult for some person do something, or the planet to do something, or planet to get by, for example?
Minimizing the nature resources somehow.
Yeah, exactly. Still, even though we are doing according to the circular economy, we might still be diminishing natural resources. And something else.
We are changing the current consumption pattern, like destroying the current consumption pattern.
That's actually good. We are like that. Actually, we are we are destroying value for those unsustainable players, because we're making their customers perhaps change. So
Exactly.
I think you also might destroy the company business when you buy less. Meaning, from company point of view, that if you are using these durable products and you don't much to buy the new ones. Or is it relevant at all?
I mean, if you change the model that you're not buying new materials, but you might be buying the same product over and over, you're probably not destroying value, at least from yourself.
Yeah, but you are not buying too often because it's so durable that you don't need it to buy every year. I mean that the frequency of the sales is lower.
Yeah,
you mean, yeah.
So the
affects
scalability and the
revenue
profitability is
streams.
different.
Yeah. But of course, if you
what
offer some new services like repair, it will then recover the situation. So you should actually offer something new to get more revenues.
Yeah, but it's important in a way that, of course, companies are afraid to cannibalize its current business, or some models might be harm your own business at the same time when you are making new revenue streams.
That's right.
Yeah, it might be important to understand that, okay, there are also risks and maybe some hurt to a current business or the model itself, but still it might be profitable.
Yeah, and in some points, yeah, the price may be a lot higher if you know that it's gonna last for 10 years instead of 10 times of use. So yeah, so and if you pay for service, like if it's a fee you pay for, let's say you're using something like a shared wardrobe or something, then you might be actually paying a monthly fee in order to use a wardrobe, for example. So you're every month you're paying for the service. So, but it's a good question. Very good. Thank you, Päivi. This is an important thing to think about. And then
Johnny,
what about
I think we are still having time to add something more to get an idea about how this works, and then I think we need to jump to the last part.
Yeah, no, well, I think we should check this part then. First of all, we should think, let's say, what kind of resources do we actually need to produce the clothing? So what kind of resources do we need? What are the key tangible and intangible, so physical and non-physical resources required for the organization to do its critical activities and achieve its goals? Yeah. Let's say if it's
do we need labor to manufacture?
Yes, very good. Then what about the materials the products are made of? Perhaps cotton?
Maybe water.
Yeah. Water? Something else?
Labels. Packages.
Packaging, yeah. Okay, there are some examples, okay? So you understand how it works. So then, now this is very important, the biophysical stocks, meaning basically where do these resources, now let's consider the natural resources, where do these come from and where do they go after we don't use the resources and the products anymore? Here you have like these are like stocks in the nature we are using. Any ideas?
In the nature.
Yeah,
or...
exactly, in the nature. For example, what we need is, I guess, land, right? To
but
produce
we want to avoid
cotton.
the landfill. We want to avoid the landfill.
Yeah, so we want to avoid, but they might still end up in landfill, but these are the biophysical stocks. We need land to produce.
And then this energy assumption.
Yeah. Yes.
But we want to avoid this as well.
Yeah, we still need energy.
Water for irrigation.
Yeah, so we need perhaps oceans or lakes or rivers, right?
Yeah.
Very good. So this is basically water comes from the oceans and lakes and rivers and so forth. The cotton comes from lands which is made to produce the cotton and so forth. Okay, this is good enough for now. So then we have, okay, ecosystem services we are using. This basically means natural processes that allow us to produce the products and basically in such as something like photosynthesis. We might need wind, certain weather, certain climate. So what are the different kinds of ecosystem services we might be needing? If we think about clothing, if we think about the ones above here, I think we need a certain kind of climate, because we need, in order to grow the cotton, you need a certain kind of climate, so where it grows, the cotton. Also you might
But
need...
is that like, is the wrong place? Is like rain would be on the top, on the or here?
It's the sun
I
and
think
rain and humidity.
It's
and
in here
Rain.
as well.
It's
Yes.
here because it's a process. It's not a stock. It's a
Yes.
process. We need water, but the process is rain, right?
Yeah, minerals in the dirt.
Yeah. So we need basically the nutrification of the earth. So basically, like, let's just put earth nutrition here. And
Pollination, is that one?
Sorry?
Pollination of the cotton flower.
Yeah. And what does every plant require to grow? If we grow cotton, what is the process through which it grows? Using the sun.
Photosynthesis.
Yes, exactly.
True.
So this is to highlight that we are actually the business is dependent on these processes and on these biophysical stocks, and what happens to these processes and these stocks affects the whole business. So, and what the business does, and also that the business has an effect also on these stocks and processes. So it's very, very important
So
to
it's
consider.
not only like that the water comes from the tap or the electricity comes from the plug, but there's something behind and you need to reuse that resource.
Very, very good point. Yeah, thank you, Ville. So it's an idea. Then obviously you would have what kind of activities are required to do it, the business, who has power in the business, basically the governance, and what kind of partnerships you need, what kind of relationships with the customers you want to have, what kind of channels are you using to sell and market the product, and also if you are taking back the products at the end of their life, what kind of channels you need, what kind of stakeholders have an interest in the business, whom is this business affecting, and so forth. Then it's the perspective gets broader, and then you have obviously costs of this business, the goals of the business, the benefits it's creating, and all the time with this business model canvas, you're thinking about the benefits for the company, the customer, the society, economy, the environment. So this is how to really manage an organization that is of the world, of the planet, that is actually inside the planet and aware of its surroundings. Okay.
And if you don't have answers in these boxes, you are not ready to start validating anything or proceeding, because it means that it's not, the idea is not very ready to test with as a pilot.
Yeah. So for example, if you don't know, let's say what kind of relationships you're going to have with the customers, then okay, don't know this, then the task, this will give you a task to then find out. So this is very good way to create a task list for the company as well. If you don't know something, then you find out. Okay, that's the idea. This is something to find out before proceeding.
Johnny,
Yes.
now it's time to go very rapidly the last part about the validation. The idea was originally that we won't spend too much time on these slides. These are more like an examples. And I think if we spend 10 minutes with the material and then there are still a feedback, so it will take a 1 or 2 minutes, but let's start the feedback phase 5 minutes before noon, because otherwise they are too rushed to give any feedback.
That's true. Okay, good. So Ville, would you like to continue?
I would say that if we talk about the validation, the purpose is to test, refine, and finalize these things. So it means that we have to understand that if we have a bigger variety of different kind of solution ideas, what will be the one we have to continue with, and how to refine it based on the, let's say, A/B testing, getting the feedback from different stakeholders, making some analysis, maybe it's something to do with the finance, and developing these ideas a bit further. And there are some tools in here. So if we can make a pilot program, get the feedback through different kind of surveys, we can have a different focus groups, for example. And of course, there are different kind of analyses like for life cycle costs and environmental impact and so on. If we jump to these slides, there are a simple process, test and validate. Idea is to set the mindset. So what we need to succeed in the rapid testing and validation. The second is how to finalize the concept. So make different stages to complete and revise the model and understand how this will proceed, then test it. And we can use a lean startup method, which the whole idea is we try something, we learn, and then we fix it or change it, and then we try it again and we learn and so on. So pretty easily try these things, and then consider the next steps, how to pivot the ones, or should we kill some ideas or the whole thing if it's not viable. If we talking about the mindset, if you zoom in, this is more like it is talking about the innovation spectrum. The idea is that what is like degree of certainty? So are we really believe in this thing? What is the predominant mindset? So are we like exploring something, or are we executing something? And are we able to fail? So what is the tolerance in here? Is it something that no, we are not gonna fail, or is it something that of course it's possible to fail and learn and start start doing and working with this. So it's about the mindset itself as well. Then there are something about, I think maybe we should jump to the backcasting approach. This is something.
So are we using it? Are we first introducing the vision and roadmap and then the backcasting, or first the backcasting?
Yes, that's true. We can
Yeah.
we can jump to the vision and roadmap.
Yeah, because there's you can approach to the this stage the concept validation with two different approaches, which is the first one, like Ville just discussed, the test and validation, which is about building, measuring and learning with small increment, like little by little polishing the solution. And then the other one is the vision and roadmap approach. So basically here you are more like this is more like what you do as a company. First you, like we discussed the vision earlier, so you create a roadmap to get to your vision, basically. So you make the different steps you need to get there, and basically you should consider what kind of things should happen in your organization at different levels. So what should happen with your products to reach your vision? What should happen in your processes to reach your vision? What should happen in your let's say customer segments? Are they changing during this transformation? What happens with your personal and the personal, like the know-how? Should you be learning some skills, for example, for your personal or something like that? So you should consider your whole business as holistically as possible, and find out what's going to happen, like let's say each year from now till 10 years forward, or sometimes most often it's like 5 years forward or something like that. So what's going to happen this year at this level of business, for example? So you create this kind of a roadmap. It's the backcasting approach is quite used for that. So here you have your preferred future, so your vision for 2030, and here you have yourself today. So in order to get here, you cast backwards what kind of action should happen. Like in order to be here, then we first need to be here, then here. You get to till today. So you start from
It makes things more tangible.
Yeah,
in a way.
exactly.
You need to think that, okay, what is the way to get in there?
Yeah, true. And the more comprehensively you can think of this, the better. Okay. And okay, for sure. So these are the two different approaches. Then here's some more material for you to study if you want to understand the test and validation method a little bit better. So it's the lean startup method basically utilizes it. So here are the different steps in the method depicted a bit in more detail. So it's like a plan for your testing and validation, and then you have a tool you can use. But since it's not very easy to do an exercise about testing and validating, if you don't actually engage in these activities, we don't have an actual actual assignment for that, or we have something that is could be used at this point where I'm shortly introducing it, which is the storyboard. So what you could try to do at this point, even if you're not actually engaging in these activities, is you try to create a storyboard for a certain type of customer. So you create a customer persona. So here you put everything you know about the customer in hand, and try to depict their customer journey. So what sort of triggers they have, the problems, what raises the problem within them, and when they are looking for solutions to their problems, you try to understand that step and also draw down it here. Then what are they doing to actually get the solution they are looking for. So these kind of steps along the journey. So this can be what they are actually doing with the product as well. Everything that happens before they reach the happy end, the conclusion. So this is a good way to validate the concept if you are not able to participate in this actually. So if you want to do just some kind of a classroom workshop activity, but we don't have the time for that. Yeah.
And if it feels that is there point to start like drawing these things, let's say if we have a company leaders or managers around the table and okay, now we have to start drawing something. It's a very good way to think, because if you need to draw something and try to explain it, you really need to think that, okay, how is this actually working and how can I explain my idea? So that's why the storyboard is a very good, and this is very cheap exercise if we compare it that, okay, we actually produce something and then we will explain it to the customer who says that, okay, looks nice, but I'm not buying. It's missing something is completely missing from here.
Very good.
But hey,
Okay.